Hey guys, I hope you're all doing well. Today I'm going to do a little video on how I made a bowl, and I'm also going to share with you some of the tools that I used to make it. And these tools could also be used for various woodland crafts or if you're working on some axe handles. Hope you enjoy. So first I needed to find a piece of wood suitable for making a bowl. This time I used chestnut oak, which has similar properties to white oak, and is somewhat rot resistant and can hold water fairly well. First, I split my piece into a rough slab using a froe. Then I switched over to a tool called a Nata, which is Japanese and often translated to hatchet, though it's more similar to a machete. This thick-spined blade has a single bevel and was historically used for cutting shingles, kindling, or for pruning small trees. After some shaping and flattening, I'm now ready to draw my outline on the wood. I found it quite easy to stick to my line that I drew using the single bevel of this Nata. I'm generally biased towards axes, but this tool actually worked really well. Believe it or not, this tool is actually about 1/4 pound heavier than the hatchet that I use. This means that it's a pretty effective chopper. Hey guys, so I'm back in the workshop now. Have my bowl here about to be finished. I just wanted to show you some of the tools that I used to complete this. So after I hollowed this bowl out with the chisel, this is a 1-inch gouge chisel. I used this to hollow out the center of this bowl, and then I switched over to my adze. This adze head is 1¼ pounds, and I made this white oak handle for it so that I could use it standing more upright. This is the original handle. This is a slip fit design, which I really like that I can switch out the handles, but you will find that with an adze, you strike a lot with the top part of the blade here, and that is going to push the head down. You can see where I've had to reseat it multiple times. My solution was to put a small screw right at the bottom here on this lip, and this worked really well. So if I just want to swap out the heads, all I have to do is take out this screw, and then I can just hammer the bottom of the handle and go ahead and swap that out. I purposely bought an outside bevel adze because I thought it would be easier to sharpen. So that means that I'm filing on the top instead of filing on the inside. That would be an inside bevel adze. Most adzes that you're going to find today are going to be inside bevel. It seems like inside bevel will keep you closer to the wood, whereas the outside bevel adze is more convex so that it will swoop out of the cut, and it's not going to do so much damage if you make a mistake and you cut too deep. Now I sharpened this to, let's see, it's fitting well in the 22.5 on my angle gauge. Most recommendations that I found online were recommending that you sharpen this to 30 degrees, which I think is kind of ridiculous. I don't know anybody that would need it like that unless you're chopping very hard dry wood. But I didn't have any edge damage. It's holding up really well. And because of the outside bevel, super easy to sharpen. The little Boy Scout hatchet, I got this at an old Rust and Found for pretty cheap. And this is a fantastic pattern for carving out your bowl, just because it has a really curved blade for slicing action. I thinned this down quite a bit, about 17 17.5. So that's really nice just for getting good penetration and chopping off the rounded parts of the bowl. So in my video, you saw me use this Japanese Nata hatchet. I was really surprised with the performance on this. This came with a 20-degree single bevel, so it actually penetrated quite well. But I couldn't do everything that I did with the hatchet. It was really good for finishing off these flat sides, especially with that single bevel. But it was kind of hard to get really close and tight to curved surfaces. And the hatchet is just the tool that I ended up picking up the most. Really has some power to it if you want to give it to it. This nub prevents it from sticking. This could be used for kindling or for lopping limbs off of a small tree. And it just works really well for shaping up flat areas with that single bevel. This is a really good tool if you're into making axe handles or just if you need to finish up an axe handle from the store. This is a Japanese Shinto rasp, has both a coarse side and a fine side, and this gives you a ton of control, especially when you're rounding off sides. If you don't want to be bothered by the mess of a rasp, or would like a smoother finish, I would recommend looking into one of these Japanese hand planes. This tool is less expensive than a rasp and can produce a really fine finish when tuned up and adjusted properly. I really like using this because it only requires one hand, and this gives a very clear advantage for carving the outside of a bowl when you don't have any way of securing it down. Here I have two card scrapers. These are also very valuable, both for axe users and for anyone doing crafts like this. Basically, it's a thin piece of steel, and you sharpen by flattening this at a 90-degree, and then you roll that edge over just so that there's a little bit of a hook, and you can use that to scrape both the outside of the bowl, and then this one has a nice rounded edge, and I use that to help scrape and smooth the inside of my bowl. So these are really good. I use this as a finishing tool on my axe handles before I sand them. The oil that I have here is a Danish linseed oil. This is made by Tried and True, and this is claimed to be a food-safe oil. So I like to use this on my axe handles, but it would also work good for anything that you may put food in. Well, here it is, the finished product. After I applied the linseed oil, I just wiped it off, and it's just going to take overnight to cure, and it should be a usable bowl. Well, guys, I appreciate you for tuning in. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.
The life of a scraper is for me.
Oh, whoa, whoa. Use this, man.
I paid $200 for my bushcraft Grancer's axe.
Oh.
I passed.